The creature in the rain. Dark clouds covered the sky. Thunder growled in the distance and heavy rain poured down on the forest. The path was muddy and the wind howled through the trees. Darren pulled his coat tighter. He was a human traitor, walking back from the nearby outpost. The cold rain stung his face and his boots were soaked. He just wanted to reach his cabin before nightfall. Suddenly he heard a strange sound. It was a soft, whimpering cry. Darren stopped. He looked around, holding his flashlight. The beam of light moved across the trees, the rocks, and the thick plants. Then he saw it. A small creature was lying near a bush, its body trembling. Its skin was smooth and shimmered faintly under the rain, glowing with soft blue lines. It had long ears, tiny claws, and deep violet eyes filled with fear and pain. A long wound ran down its side. Darren blinked. He had never seen anything like this. It wasn't from Earth. It was alien. The creature whimpered again. Darren knelt beside it slowly, holding out his hand. "Hey, it's okay. I won't hurt you," he said gently. The creature didn't move, but it didn't run either. Darren looked around. There was no one else. No ship, no trail. Nothing. Just this poor, injured creature. Alone in the rain. He picked it up carefully. It was light, but weak, its body cold. He wrapped it in his coat. As he turned back toward his cabin, something moved in the shadows behind the trees. A tall, cloaked figure watched him, eyes glowing red for a second, then disappearing into the storm. Darren's cabin was warm and simple. A small fire burned in the stone fireplace. He laid the creature on a soft blanket near the heat. He cleaned the wound carefully. It winced but didn't attack. "What are you?" Darren whispered. "Where did you come from?" He brought it warm broth. The creature sniffed it, then drank slowly. Hours passed. The rain outside grew stronger. Darren sat near the fireplace, watching the little being sleep. Its breathing was slow but peaceful now. Somehow he felt a strange connection to it, like it trusted him. He smiled softly. "Guess you're staying here tonight, little one." As he stood to grab more firewood, he noticed something odd, the creature's wound. It was already closing. Later that night, thunder cracked loudly. Darren woke up with a jolt. The fire had dimmed, but something else made him sit up. A strange noise, a clicking sound, like claws on the wooden floor. He turned his head. The creature was awake, but not just awake. It was standing, and it was watching the door. Suddenly, knock. 3 slow, heavy knocks echoed through the wooden cabin. Darren froze. No one ever came. Here. He lived far from the main city, too far for visitors. He stood up slowly and reached for his rifle just in case. He opened the door. No one was there, just wind, rain, and empty darkness. But on the ground, deep claw marks had been left in the mud, 3 long, glowing lines, exactly like the creature's patterns. He closed the door fast, locking it. When he turned back, the creature was curled up again on the blanket, eyes closed. Peaceful, as if nothing had happened. Darren's hands were still shaking. Something was wrong. This wasn't just a lost animal. This think I was special, and something or someone was already looking for it. A visitor in the night? The storm hadn't stopped. Winds howled outside like angry voices, and rain struck the windows like fingers trying to get in. Inside the wooden cabin, the fire burned low. Darren lay on his bedroll, one eye half open. He couldn't sleep. His mind kept returning to the creature, now sleeping soundly by the fire, wrapped in an old blanket. Its strange glowing skin had dimmed, but its breathing was calm, too calm. Darren sat up slowly. Something felt wrong. Not dangerous. Just strange. Like a silence that was too quiet. a stillness that didn't belong. He checked the door again. It was locked tight. The rifle rested beside it just in case. Outside, trees groaned in the wind. And then, a soft thud. Not from the door, not the roof. It came from the window. Darren moved toward it slowly, careful not to step too loud. He peeked. Through the foggy glass, nothing, just the forest. But as he turned away, he saw it, a shape. A figure standing behind him reflected in the window. Darren spun around, but the room was empty. The fire crackled softly. The creature still slept, unmoved. His heart beat faster. "I'm too tired," he whispered. "Too much stress." He poured some water and sat by the fire, calming himself. But then, the creature opened its eyes. And this time, it didn't look like an animal. It looked aware. It sat up slowly, staring into the shadows of the room. Its ears twitched, and the glowing lines on its skin lit up faintly, like blue veins under glass. Its head turned toward the back wall. Darren followed its gaze. There was nothing there. But the creature growled softly. Darren stood. "What is it?" he asked, voice low. The creature didn't answer, but its eyes stayed fixed. Suddenly, the fire flickered wildly, as if a gust of wind had passed through the closed room. The temperature dropped, then tap, 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 from the back of the cabin. Not the door, not a window. The wooden wall, 3 clear, slow taps. Darren grabbed his rifle. The creature moved closer to him, almost hiding behind his leg. "Who's there?" Darren shouted. No reply. He stepped slowly toward the back wall. His boots creaked against the wooden floor. The tapping had stopped. He pressed his ear to the wall. Silence. Then, just as he turned away, he heard it again. A whisper. Not in English, not in any human language, but his skin crawled as if he had understood it. "Return the child." Darren rushed outside through the front door, rifle raised. Rain poured from the sky, but no one was there. The trees stood still, tall and quiet, like guards hiding something. Darren walked around the cabin slowly. Then he saw it. Large, deep footprints in the mud. They were shaped like claws, but too wide, too heavy. They had weight. They circled the cabin and then vanished into the dark woods. Back inside, the creature was standing on 2 legs now, like a child. Its glowing skin had become brighter. It walked up to Darren and gently touched his arm. And then, it spoke. A soft voice inside his mind, not from its mouth. "Thank you for helping." Darren's eyes widened. "You can talk?" The creature looked tired. "Not always. But now, I remember a little." "Who are you?" he asked. "I don't know. But they are looking for me." Darren's hands tightened on the rifle. "Who?" The creature lowered its head. "The ones I escaped from. The ones who hurt me." It looked up again, its purple eyes full of fear. "They want to take me back, but if they find you helped me..." It didn't finish. But Darren understood. He stared into the fire, mind racing. This wasn't just a creature. It was intelligent, maybe even royal, valuable. And someone dangerous was searching for it, now at his door. Outside, unseen, a tall armored figure watched from the shadows of the trees. Its helmet glowed faint red. Its voice crackled through a communicator. "Target located, prepare to report back to the Baroness." The creature heals and grows. Morning came, but the sun didn't shine. Gray clouds still covered the sky, and the forest outside Darren's cabin was silent. No birds, no movement, like even nature was holding its breath. Inside the cabin, the fire had burned out. Darren sat by the creature, watching closely. Something was changing. The wounds that once bled had fully closed. Not even a scar remained. But more than that, its body had shifted overnight. It was now bigger, not much but enough to notice. Its legs were longer, its back straighter. It looked less like a wild animal, and more like a child. The creature opened its eyes slowly. Good morning, Darren said carefully. The creature tilted its head. I slept. It helped. You healed fast. I am not like you, it replied softly in his mind. I'm designed to survive. Darren paused. Designed? The creature blinked, unsure of the word itself. I don't remember everything, it added, but I remember pain, darkness, and then your warmth. Darren stood up, unsure what to do. What are you? Are you some kind of weapon? A lab experiment? The creature shook its head. No. I was born, but shaped, enhanced, protected. I belong to someone important. Darren frowned. Someone like a master? No. The creature said firmly. Someone who said they loved me, but they hurt me too. Later that day, Darren brought food. Simple soup and dried meat. He placed a bowl before the creature, expecting it to sniff or poke like before. But instead, it reached out, picked up the bowl with steady hands and sipped. Darren stared. It was learning. Fast. You couldn't do that yesterday. I learned from you, the creature said. Your thoughts are loud, your care is strong, it helps me remember who I am. Suddenly the cabin's lights flickered. Darren glanced at the generator switch, it was still working, but then a sharp static sound cut through the silence. A voice. It came from nowhere, yet filled the air. Return the creature, or face judgment. The cabin shook slightly. The creature jumped and looked afraid. It backed into the corner, glowing brighter. Who was that? Darren asked. The creature whispered. The heralds. They are sent before she arrives. She? The Baroness. Outside trees moved, but there was no wind. A strange pulse filled the air, like the beat of a heart coming from the sky. Darren grabbed his rifle and stepped outside. Above the treetops, a shape appeared, sharp and black like a blade slicing through the clouds. A ship, not large but fast, sleek, silent. It hovered for a moment, then disappeared again into the mist. Darren ran back inside. They found you, he said, and they're not going away. The creature stepped forward. I can leave. I don't want you hurt. Darren shook his head. Not happening. You were hurt. You were. Soldiers arrived with guns. It began with silence. No wind, no birds, no distant hum from the generator. Just a heavy stillness. Darren stood outside his cabin, boots deep in the wet ground, rifle in his hands. He felt it before he saw anything. Like the world was holding its breath. Inside, the creature sat near the fire, now fully upright and alert. Its shape was no longer wild. It looked like a small child made of light and life, with violet eyes and silver-blue skin that pulsed gently in the shadows. Then they came. A strange crack in the air opened above the trees. With a sound like tearing metal, a small black ship dropped from the sky and hovered low above the cabin. Darren's heart raced. It didn't look like a cargo ship. It looked like a hunter. The side of the ship opened. Figures jumped down. 6 of them, tall, armored, alien. Their helmets had red slits for eyes, and their black suits moved like liquid metal. Each one held a long weapon that hummed with quiet energy. Darren didn't move. The lead soldier stepped forward. His voice was deep and mechanical. You are holding something that does not belong to you. Darren raised his rifle slightly. It was hurt. I saved it. That was not your right. Before Darren could reply, the soldier lifted his weapon, but the cabin door burst open behind Darren. The creature stepped outside, not hiding, not afraid. Its eyes glowed bright purple. Its voice echoed in their minds. I am not your pet. The soldiers paused. The lead one lowered his weapon slightly. We were told the creature was wounded, weak, unaware. The creature took another step forward. You were wrong, Darren whispered. Go back inside, they're dangerous. The creature looked at him. So am I now. Suddenly, 2 soldiers raised their weapons. Darren stepped in front of the creature. Don't! But before they could shoot, the creature raised its hand. A shock wave of light burst out, silent and strong. The ground cracked under the force. The soldiers were thrown backward like leaves in a storm. The ship rocked in the air and quickly backed away. The creature fell to its knees, breathing hard. Its glow dimmed. Darren caught it. "Are you okay?" The creature nodded slowly. That was new. From the edge of the forest, the surviving soldiers picked themselves up. One of them pressed a button on his wrist. "She will come now," he said. The Baroness. Back in the cabin, Darren closed the door and blocked it with furniture. "You didn't tell me you had that kind of power," he said. "I didn't know," the creature whispered. "But I can feel her. She's close. She's angry." "Who is she to you?" The creature hesitated. "I think she's my mother." High above, another ship appeared. This one was massive, sleek, sharp, and glowing with violet lights. It didn't hover. It commanded the sky. Inside it, a tall woman with silver skin, golden eyes, and flowing black robes stepped forward. Her crown gleamed. Her voice was like a song wrapped in thunder. "My child has awakened." She turned to her guards. "Prepare the descent. No more mistakes." Back on the ground, Darren held the creature close. "Whatever happens," he said, "you're not alone now." The creature looked up. "I chose you." And far above, the Baroness was already falling toward them, like a storm wrapped in royal rage. The Baroness speaks. The air trembled. A beam of light shot down from the sky like a sword made of lightning. Trees bent. The earth cracked. And then she arrived. The Baroness. Her ship hovered silently above the cabin, casting a giant shadow. From its underside, a circular platform lowered slowly, stopping just above the ground. She stood upon it, tall, elegant, and terrifying. Her skin shimmered like polished silver. Her black robes floated as if moved by invisible wind. A crown of violet crystals circled her head. Her golden eyes glowed. She didn't speak at first. She just stared at the cabin, at the human, at the creature. Darren held the child behind him, rifle aimed, heart pounding. The creature stepped forward, weak but brave. The Baroness raised her hand, and the rifles of her soldiers lowered instantly. "Human," she said at last, her voice cold but smooth. "You have something that belongs to me." Darren didn't move. "He's not a thing." The Baroness's eyes narrowed. "You dare speak for him?" "He was injured, abandoned. I helped him." She took one step forward. The ground under her feet glowed purple. "You think you helped him," she said. "He was taken from my care. You interfered." The creature stepped in front of Darren. "No, he saved me. You let them hurt me. I remember." The Baroness froze. She stared at the creature, not with anger now, but something deeper. Pain. "You remember?" The creature nodded. "You said I was precious, but you caged me." "I caged you to protect you," she whispered. "You used me." Darren looked between them, confused. "What is he to you?" he asked. The Baroness looked at him. Slowly, she removed her crown. Her long, dark hair fell over her shoulders. Her glowing armor melted away, leaving only a soft silk robe. She stepped down from the platform. The soldiers didn't follow. Then she said the words Darren never expected. "He is my son." The world went quiet. Even the wind paused. Darren blinked. "Your son?" She nodded. "Born in secret. Engineered to carry my power. Hidden from my enemies. But someone betrayed us. Took him." She turned to the creature. "They hurt you. I tried to find you. But you vanished." The creature's glow flickered. "Why didn't you come sooner?" it asked. The Baroness knelt on one knee. "I came the moment I felt your signal. You are the only part of me that matters." The creature trembled. "I don't trust you." "I don't ask for trust," she said. "I ask for a chance." Darren stepped forward. "You have soldiers, ships, power. And yet you ask nicely now? She looked up at him. You protected him when others would have sold him. You stood between him and death. You gave him warmth. For that, she paused. You are under my protection now. Darren didn't lower the rifle. What if I don't want your protection? The Baroness smiled gently. Then you are a fool. The creature looked between them. I want to choose my own path, it said, not hers, not yours. You already have, Darren replied. I didn't force you. The Baroness stood. Her voice turned regal again. Then speak your choice, my child. Before the stars shift again. The creature closed its eyes. The wind picked up. The air pulsed. Leaves flew in a swirl around him. When the light faded, he stood taller, stronger. Not a pet, not a weapon, but something new. I choose peace, he said. But I won't leave the one who showed me kindness when I was nothing. The Baroness looked away, then turned toward her ship. She spoke without looking back. I will not force you, but the galaxy is not kind. When you call me, I will come. She rose onto the platform, but just before she vanished, she turned once more and said, Human, take care of him. You are now part of something greater. And with that, the light swallowed her, and she was gone. The creature chooses. The sky was clear for the first time in days. The Baroness's ship had vanished into the clouds and her soldiers had left like shadows melting into the wind. But her presence lingered, heavy, like a memory that refused to fade. Inside the cabin, the fire crackled again. Darren sat quietly, sharpening his blade. He didn't speak. The creature, now more like a child, now more than a child, stood near the window, staring at the stars. His glow had faded to a soft shimmer. He seemed older somehow. Wiser. Darren finally broke the silence. You okay? The creature nodded. I thought I would feel more confused, but I don't. It's like something inside me finally woke up. Darren looked at him. You gonna leave with her? The creature didn't answer right away. Then softly, I don't know. Later that night, a quiet hum echoed outside. Darren opened the door carefully. In the clearing stood a small hovering orb, a gift. It projected a message from the Baroness. Her voice was calm, but distant. My child, the gate is open for 3 nights. If you wish to return home, it will remain waiting. After that, it closes forever. The orb blinked once and vanished. 3 nights, that's all the time they had. The next morning, the forest was calm again. Darren taught the boy how to fish, how to cook, how to set traps. The boy, who had once trembled like a wounded animal, now laughed when the fish splashed his feet. He moved like someone who finally belonged somewhere. But the clock was ticking. That evening, while Darren repaired the roof, the boy sat by the riverbank. He dipped his hands into the cool water, watching his reflection ripple. His mind was full of questions. He saw the Baroness's eyes in his dreams. He felt her power still inside his veins. But then he thought of Darren's hands, calloused, scarred, gently carrying him through rain. He remembered warmth, food, kindness, not fear, not orders, just care. That night, as the stars appeared again, the creature walked into the cabin. I've made my choice, he said. Darren turned from the fire. And? I want to stay. Darren blinked. Are you sure? She's your mother. She's part of my past, the boy replied. But you gave me my future. Darren tried to hide the emotion in his eyes. He failed. Then we'll face what comes together, he said. The creature nodded. I'm not just staying because of you. I'm staying because I want to build something new. Darren smiled. Then let's build it. But peace didn't last long. That night while they slept, the ground shook. A second ship descended. But it wasn't the Baroness. It was something else. Bigger. Uglier. Not here for peace. Here for the child. Far above, another empire had tracked the Baroness's signal. They knew about her heir, They wanted him, not as a prince, but as a weapon. Their leader watched from the dark ship, eyes cold. "Prepare the strike," he said. "Bring the hybrid alive. Kill the human." Back on the ground, the creature sat up, in bed. He looked at Darren, sleeping peacefully nearby. Then his eyes turned hard. His glow returned, stronger than ever. He whispered to the stars, "No more running." Not a pet, ere the night sky turned red. It wasn't the sunset. It was a ship, massive and cold, dropping like a blade from space. Its engines roared like thunder. Trees bent, birds fled. The ground split as landing legs crushed the earth near Darren's cabin. Inside, the creature stood at the window. His glow pulsed brighter than ever. Fear didn't show in his eyes anymore. Darren grabbed his rifle. "Let me guess. Not friends?" "No," the boy said softly. "They don't want to take me home. They want to own me." He turned to Darren. "They want to use what I've become." Darren loaded his last power cell. "Then let's make sure they don't." The enemy ship opened with a hiss. Dozens of armored invaders marched out, twice the size of normal soldiers, weapons humming with violent energy. Their leader stepped forward, tall, cruel, and proud. His armor was bone white. His voice echoed, "Deliver the air, or die screaming." Darren stood at the front door. "I'm sorry. We're fresh out of Heirs," he said, aiming his rifle. The soldiers raised their guns, but before they could fire, a light exploded from behind Darren. The boy stepped out. His entire body glowed like a sun made of crystal. The air around him bent, the earth under him cracked, and then he rose, not walked, floated. The leader laughed. "You think you're a god, little one?" "No," the boy said calmly. "I'm a son." He stretched out his hand, and the storm began. Bolts of violet energy shot from his palms, tearing through the soldiers' armor. Their guns exploded in their hands. The ground lifted, throwing enemies back like paper in wind. Darren fired too, aim sharp, heart steady. But it was the boy who turned the battle. One soldier tried to rush Darren, only to be stopped mid-air by invisible force. He floated, trapped, until he passed out from lack of air. The leader watched, stunned. This power, it belongs to empires. The boy landed, walking toward him slowly. Power means nothing without heart. The leader raised his blade, but the boy caught it with bare hands and shattered it like glass. Then he spoke, not just to the leader, but to the stars above. "I was not made to be used. I was not bred to be broken. I am not your weapon. I am my mother's son, and I am my own." Behind him, the Baroness's ship appeared, quietly this time. She had come, not to take, but to watch. She stepped down slowly, eyes on her son. She said nothing. He turned to her. "I didn't run." She nodded. "No, you rose." Then she looked at Darren. "You protected what I could not." Darren lowered his rifle. "I just gave him what he needed." The Baroness extended her hand toward her son. "Come back with me. Rule by my side." The boy smiled gently. "I'll visit," he said. "But I've already chosen my place." He looked at Darren. "With him." The Baroness didn't argue. She bowed her head once. "Then I leave you to your destiny." She turned and left. Her ship rose slowly and was gone. The battlefield was silent. The enemy had fallen, their ship disabled, their commander unconscious. Darren and the boy stood side by side, covered in dust and light. Darren broke the silence. "You sure you're not royalty?" The boy laughed. "I'm sure." "What are you then?" He looked up at the sky, then back at the man who gave him a chance. "I'm family." And from that day on, across planets and galaxies, stories were told not of a pet, not of a prince, but of a boy with power in his blood, and a human who chose kindness over fear. Together, they changed everything.